Once upon a time, in a small dusty town in the heart of America, there lived a boy named Samuel. His family was poor, poorer than most. Their house was nothing more than a wooden shack with a roof that leaked when it rained and floors that creaked with every step. His father worked long hours at the mill, and his mother stitched clothes for neighbors to earn a few extra coins. Life in that little town was simple, almost too simple. Most boys grew up expecting to work the same jobs as their fathers, living and dying within the same narrow streets. Dreams didn't travel very far there. People said, "This is just the way life is," as if the world beyond the cornfields didn't exist. But Samuel was different. His eyes carried a spark that others couldn't see. At night, when the house grew quiet, he would lie awake and imagine a life bigger than the one he was born into. He dreamed of building things, of creating something that would matter, of becoming someone more than the poor boy from the mill town. Though his stomach was often empty, his heart was always full, with dreams. Every day, Samuel woke up before the sun rose. He carried buckets of water from the well, chopped wood for the stove, and helped his father haul heavy sacks at the mill. The work was hard, his hands were rough, and his back often ached, though he was only a boy. Life seemed carved out for him already. Work, eat, sleep, repeat. And yet, while his body moved through the same routine, his mind lived elsewhere. As he stacked lumber or swept the mill floor, he imagined building machines that could do the work faster, smarter. He pictured himself standing on stages, telling people his ideas. He saw himself leaving the tiny town and exploring the wide world he had only read about in borrowed books. But whenever Samuel dared to speak of his dreams, the laughter came. "You, an inventor," the older men at the mill mocked. "Better keep your head down, boy." Even children his own age teased him. "Sam the Dreamer," they called him, as if dreaming was a foolish crime. Caught between two worlds, Samuel felt torn. His heart told him he was meant for more, but his reality chained him to the dust and labor of the mill. The weight of his family's poverty pressed down, whispering that dreams were luxuries only the rich could afford. Every day, he lived this quiet battle, one foot in the life he knew, the other reaching toward a future no one else believed in. Then one day, something happened that Samuel would never forget. The town library, a small brick building most people ignored, received a donation of old books. Among them was a worn copy of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Samuel picked it up out of curiosity. The cover was torn, the pages yellowed, but one sentence leapt out at him like a spark. "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." He read it again and again, his heart pounding. Could it really be true? Could a boy from a poor mill town actually create the life he dreamed of, if his desire was strong enough? That night, under the flickering glow of a single candle, Samuel devoured the book. Each page seemed to speak directly to him, telling him he was not trapped, not destined to remain small. It told him that desire, the burning kind of desire, was the first step toward greatness. For the first time, Samuel saw his dreams not as childish fantasies, but as seeds waiting for his belief to water them. His chest burned with a new kind of fire. He whispered to himself, "I will not live small. I will not let fear or poverty chain me. I will believe, and I will achieve." From that moment on, Samuel's life changed, not in the world outside, but inside his mind. The boy who once carried buckets and endured laughter now carried a vision so strong, it felt unstoppable. Napoleon Hill's words became his secret compass. When your desires are strong enough, you will appear to possess superhuman powers to achieve. And Samuel was ready to test those powers. Because of that new fire inside him, Samuel began to act differently. The mill was still there, the buckets of water still needed carrying, but now his evenings were no longer wasted on idle chatter or tired sleep. Each night, he studied. He read every book the library offered: science, mechanics, history, philosophy. His candle often burned down to nothing while his family slept, but Samuel's hunger for knowledge only grew. He started sketching machines in the margins of old notebooks, trying to solve problems he saw in the mill. He built small models out of scrap wood and metal, teaching himself how gears and levers worked. His first inventions barely moved. Some collapsed the moment he tested them. More than once, his fingers were cut and blistered. And of course, the laughter returned. Sam the dreamer, playing with toys again, the mill workers teased. Even his father, weary and practical, warned him. Books and sketches don't put food on the table. Samuel nodded respectfully, but inside he whispered, I will not stop. Failure followed him everywhere. He applied for an apprenticeship with a traveling machinist, only to be rejected. He presented one of his crude devices to the mill owner, who chuckled and tossed it aside. Each rejection cut deep. There were nights Samuel wanted to throw his sketches into the fire and bury his dreams. But every time doubt tried to smother him, he remembered Napoleon Hill's words. When your desires are strong enough, you will appear to possess superhuman powers to achieve. Samuel clung to those words like a lifeline. His desire was stronger than humiliation, stronger than exhaustion. So he kept building, he kept failing, and slowly, very slowly, his failures turned into lessons. His designs improved. His hands grew steadier. His mind became sharper. He realized that each small step forward was not wasted, but part of the path. The boy once mocked for dreaming now carried within him a quiet strength. He began to see that the real power was not in the machines he was building, but in the resilience he was forging. Each fall made him tougher. Each obstacle revealed a strength he never knew he had. Because of that desire, Samuel was transforming, not just into an inventor, but into someone who believed, without question, that nothing was impossible. Until finally, after years of trial and error, Samuel built a machine that worked. It was simple, a device that helped move heavy sacks of grain more easily at the mill. But it worked. For the first time, the men who once laughed at him stood in silence, watching his invention lift the weight with ease. The mill owner, impressed, decided to use Samuel's design, and soon other mills from nearby towns came to see it. What began as a boy's dream in a poor, dusty town had now become a reality. Samuel's name was no longer Sam the Dreamer. He was known as Samuel the Inventor, the boy who turned sketches into steel and belief into something tangible. His invention opened doors he never imagined, opportunities to travel, to study, to share his ideas with the world. Looking back, Samuel understood the true secret. It wasn't luck or even talent that carried him through. It was desire, the burning, unshakable kind. That fire gave him the strength to rise after every fall, to keep going when everyone else told him to stop. And that is the lesson for all of us. When your desires are strong enough, you will appear to possess superhuman powers to achieve. Each of us holds a dream, but the difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not the size of the dream. It's the strength of the desire behind it. So whatever your dream may be, hold it close. Believe in it fiercely, and let your desire carry you where others say you cannot go.